Welcome, welcome. Turn down the music. I'm still actually getting set up right now, but saw the timer was up, so it's time to go. I'm actually in the middle of the process of actually setting up this code repository, but I figure I'd bring you through it and then kind of skip the boring parts of, getting into IntelliJ and waiting for IntelliJ to build the Gradle files and everything, kind of remove all that wait time. I'm seeing if this is gonna, looks like it's updated everything. All right, to the full screen we go. So today we're going to be working on some oh, whoa. I guess I'm not sharing that screen yet, so it doesn't matter too much. Move this over there so I can see the chat. Move this over here while I'm waiting, and to full screen we go. So today, I figured I'd kind of walk through the process of setting up a Java Spring Boot application. I'm actually moving one of my existing APIs that's in Dino/TypeScript over to Java, just because I'm getting to the point where I need there's a lot more logic-based coding I want to do, and I can do it in TypeScript, but the way that you structure a TypeScript application compared to a Java application is very different, and I could benefit from the more structured approach that Java gives compared to TypeScript. I know those people who know me know that I am a hardcore TypeScript guy, but sometimes you gotta break the mold a bit. So if we transition to this screen, I'm using Spring Boot's initializer, and what I'm doing is basically setting up I've always programmed Java applications in Groovy for my Gradle setup instead of Kotlin, and I don't typically use Maven almost ever. I know some people who do. A lot of Stack Overflow uses Maven, but I'm more of a Gradle kind of guy. Java instead of Kotlin, although it's been about, I don't know, 10 years since the last time I touched Kotlin, so I don't trust myself doing that very well, even though I do prefer some aspects of Kotlin over Java. It just makes it simpler. I'm actually redoing the API for my research project. I'm doing it. The website's called controlprivacy.org. I'm working on basically building tools to help educate students in the public school system to learn how to protect themselves on the internet, which means I'm trying to build a lot of more interactive scenarios and stuff for my research, and the easiest way for me to do that at the moment is through Java, or through building a website that they can load either on their phone or their laptops or tablets or whatever they may have on them. And yeah, so this is where I'm at the moment. I'm building it with the Spring Web dependency with Lombok. I would add typically Mapstruct in here too, but Mapstruct is not in the list of dependencies I can look for. Like, it's just not there. So I'll add Mapstruct myself. I will, I believe there's like a package somewhere where you can set up your dependencies nicer. Maybe there is a dependency management thing, but I'm not seeing one. So how I'm setting up I guess to continue going to my dependency list, I obviously want Spring Security in place, although At the moment, there is no signing into the application because I'm keeping everything anonymous. Eventually, I do want to allow myself to sign into the application so I can upload either artifacts such as handouts or flyers, my presentations, whatever it may be. I want to be able to sign into the website and upload it that way, rather than, if I use, let's say, Cloudflare's R2 storage, bucket storage, uploading it manually that way, then going back to my front end or into my API to make sure it's pulling it correctly. And I'd rather not go through that process of all that manual work if I don't have to. So I want to try to build something in which I can get manage it easier. I'm starting with Spring Security. I will have Auth0 probably integrated in there as well. So there's a proper OAuth 2 authentication layer. I'm editing MongoDB for right now. There's nothing, I'm not storing any data besides my material, so this is more for me to know the file name that I upload to either an S3 bucket or an R2 bucket, depending on if I go AWS or Cloudflare. Most likely I'll go Cloudflare. Spring Boot actuator, so I can get some metrics of the health and everything, and then I'm also adding open telemetry. I want to be able to have some observability into my platform or into my application, however that may be. At the moment, I have nothing to hook the open telemetry into. Like, I'm not hosting a Prometheus or Grafana server at the moment, although I would like to in the near future. I just don't have that set up. But I'm setting this up so that when I do have everything in place, I can just link it in without any issue. So this is the basic initializer I'm using. I clicked generate and already downloaded the API file. And we are now at the point where I can bring you into this. This is obviously IntelliJ. Actually, let me quickly do this. Where'd it go? Close out of that. Move this out of the way, maybe? No? Is that coming from GitHub Mobile or? I've lost it. Hold on. Let me transition back. Troubleshooting live, you know? Oh. If I just read the screen, I'd be just fine. It's having me go through this entire process because I enabled the VPN on my router. So I have to really authorize myself quite deeply. All right. We signed into GitHub. I'll transition back. All right, so this is the code. This is the basic structure. I have the project loaded up inside my projects folder on my external, or not external hard drive, but my RAID array inside my computer. And if anyone's built a Java app before, it's not too complicated, really. What are we using for tests? Spring Boot test. This must be JUnit. Yeah, there it is. I might install Groovy tests. Oh, Spock. That's what I'm looking for. They are not that helpful in terms of how to set this up. All right, we'll skip this for right now because I do want to add Mapstruck. I want to install it. How do I install it? I know how to use it. Gradle. There we go. All right, let's go to my build.gradle. I will probably change this up at some point. I tend to like to have my like a properties file in here of like dependencies and stuff, and then just import that into here. I can actually go to another project real quick to set that up. So I have this in this project. If I go in here, actually, let me just copy the file. I don't need necessarily this, but I do want this to say Mapstruck. The thing is, there's a couple things I gotta do. Oop. Copy, paste. Mapstruct is this version. And then I also have the Mapstruct processor. Which is this. There we go. Comma. All right. And then we go back into this here. We go into our build.gradle. We then do a little bit of apply this. And then in here, we can just do compile only. Oh wait, sorry, I'm reading the wrong thing. Implementation, and this will be libs.mapstruck. Which it probably won't recognize because of, you know, this structure. But if I go back over here and just do this, I think it should pop up. Project directory, which I think is set by default. Yeah. I don't know why it works here but not over here, but that's besides the point. Unless I have a plugin in play that's doing it for me. I'll probably do this very similarly. Java library, Maven publish. We don't need to publish. We already have Java in there. I have Lombok right there. You know what? for right now, let's just grab these. Or grab them from up here. We'll skip this for right now. Here's our implementation and processor. We can comment this and just say map struct. Interesting. Map struct. Save that. I don't remember the keyboard command for formatting code in Java this way, or using IntelliJ. I typically do IntelliJ on my Mac. What is the keyboard command I'm looking for? Control Alt Shift L. But I thought it was just Control Alt L, which is what I did. Seems to work. All right, and so we got map struct in there, all that stuff. Let's start working on this. We'll create a new package. Let's call this mappers or mapper. I don't know. Is the correct terminology to use plurals or singular? I don't quite recall. I'll go plural. Actually, I'll go singular. Refactor. Rename. Mapper. New package, call it controller. Let me quickly pop up VS Code so I can see what I need to duplicate or replicate over that I already have. Close that folder. While I'm waiting for that to load, I will then do, let's do, I don't know, client controller. The first thing I do want to work on is I have a basic scenario in which I convince the students to load a page on my website, which then shows them a bunch of information that is just freely available when you go to a website. And I believe I call this their client, so that's why I call it client here. I will call this a REST controller. I will also label this /v1/clients. I do know that this is supposed to be plural, typically in your URLs. All right, what does my router say? Oh, that's right. I was convinced by someone to try out TRPC, which was a pain in the butt. And I'm not that big of a fan of it, to be honest. It doesn't really, it works in some ways, it doesn't work in other ways. Like it's not your conventional REST protocol, which is what I don't like the most out of it. And actually, I might call this the me controller because I want this to be about the person who's currently hitting it. So what I'll do is probably F6. So how do you rename again? It's Shift F6. Of course it is, not Control F6. Why would you make sense? The me controller. Let's do that. Call this me. And then I will add a get mapping, get me. And this is when I will basically return a object back that has their IP address and a few other details about their machine. Which is when I need now a new package called, do we call this an entity? Database object should be entities. This is just a DTO. So we'll call this DTO. We will add a new class. We will call this, I don't know, my client, maybe. Sure. We'll make this a builder. Let's do a no args constructor and a all args constructor. This will be this should also have what? Data? Not data. What am I thinking of? Value? There we go. Private string. This will be IP address. User agent. Sure. And also private's not necessary because this is a Lombok class. So it's by default private. I want to get the, what do I have in the other model? It's called client data is what I called it. In here I have IP is actually IP address, or is an object, so I could do public class. How is country and city IP address? I want address and family. I'll call this IP. And then user agent, I will probably do something similar. How was I getting this data the other way? Am I looking at the wrong repository potentially? Close folder. Supposedly this is all that does. Oh yeah, there's so much more data that comes through there. Well, maybe. Hold on. I'm grabbing their geolocation through their browser, which makes sense. User agent. Where does that come from? Parser. Oh, that's also coming right from the API. Well, not API necessarily, but a lot of this is actually coming from the browser API, which is nice. So I guess I do only need to send back the IP address. Although having the user agent might be helpful in this case, but yeah, I guess for this we'll just do this to mimic what I already have. This can be now my client. Return new my client. or maybe I do my client dot builder dot IP dot my client dot IP address dot builder. Oh, I didn't put a builder on there. That was silly. Builder. Actually, can I just do a no args constructor? True builder, true. What is it yelling at me for? He's a proper constructor? I don't even know what that means. I'm pretty sure there was supposed to be like something I can add to this that allows me to just use it. Fine. I'll do an all args. Whoa, that's not what I want. Make static. What does it want from this? I'm not doing that. Actually, I don't want to builder on there. Maybe I do. That way, when I have my mapper, if I go into mapping, go to Java, or no, interface, make this my client mapper dot, or I don't need to do .java, it knows .java. This is now a mapper. There's something I can do. Maybe I'm thinking of Jackson. Or I am definitely thinking of Jackson. So in here, we want to be able to grab the server request. Response request. Not params. Not mapping. Is it header? Is that what I want? The header? I guess so. And this should give me request header. Ooh, let me do some Googling. This needs to Google. That's 14 years ago, and I wonder if it's still the same. Oh, is that all I have to do? I don't know if this is what I have to do or not. So I have my builder, I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Do a little bit of this. We can do dot address. Get remote address dot family Can I get the address family from this? I might actually change it a little bit because I found a really good example of what I'm basically exactly what I'm looking for. And this might be worth adding a service package now. And then a new package for Impl, because typically what you do is create a interface called me service, let's say. Let me move that, sorry. Refactor, Does this let me? No, it doesn't. Let me change this a little bit. New thing again. Oh, it doesn't let me chain, like, all right. Undo that. Refactor, move. Refactor. Where's the move in this? Move class, there it is. There we go, it's been moved. Me service. This will have get my client data. And this will be, I called it my client, but maybe I should call it my client data. How about that? That's not what I wanted to do, because F2 is not the button for this, you know, because Shift F6 makes perfect sense. All right. This will now be my client data. That's what you get back from it. We need now in here to be new Java class to be me service impl. This will now be a bean. Or do I do bean here or do I do? I don't know if I do it here. But this does implement my service. We can now just do this. Hit OK. There we go. Now this should be given a this thing. Copy this. Go here. Request. Save that. Go back in here. Map. This. There we go. Oh. Hold on one second. This is because they are using a library I'm actually using in the front end as well. So what I want to do is go into my build.gradle. Sure, we'll do that there. But then I also have another thing I want to add. This will be UA parser. Not this. We'll just let it be the latest version. Do this. It should pull it in. It did. Nice. Go back into the impl. Parser is now from... No. Parser will come from the UA parser. Did it not install? Now let's look at the external libraries then. Spot bugs is in here. I'm not seeing it. Let me make sure I have the right version. Or the latest version, I should say. It's 1.6.1. It's the latest version. We'll save this. We then do that. Now we should hopefully see it in here. We do now. Okay. Needs a version specified, I guess. We go into this. This now comes from UA parser. I don't want this to be a hash map. I'd rather it be my client data. Equals builder. Remote user. Go down the documentation. More documentation. I don't know if that's the family I want. I'll leave it there for right now. But we do have all this OS data now, which I believe if I look at, I mean, we can do quite a bit here by setting this to that, remove that. Or is it supposed to be? Get my client data. Here we go. You now get my client data. You hit save. Let's pull up the terminal. So I will want to run this in a second. Oh, why is it PowerShell? No one likes PowerShell. Give me Ubuntu. That's best. Let's quickly actually finish or fix this. Let's do we have to add the bean actually first before I do too much. Obviously we have this here. Let's add a new package called config. Let's now add in here new Java class. Oh, I think just call it app config is fine. This is going to be a configuration. This will now have my beans. So we'll have a bean for public, not client data. You dum-dum. Me service. This would be return a new me service impl. That's it. So that's that bean added. We can remove that, save. Now we can go into where's my controller? There we go. Let's do me service. We don't want that again. And then we just do public me controller. We should have me service, me service. This will just be me service. I'm really testing my knowledge right now on my Java dev. I do it every day, but I have so many examples to pull from. It's been a while since I've had to do this from scratch. And here we have this. What's wrong in here? Oh, this. I see. We then do me service dot get my data using the request. I think that will work. I don't actually know. But I thought you had to do like an at request annotation or something. I don't think this will work, but we can try. Let's build it. What's a build? That's the real question now. Also, we created the mapper and we never used it, so let me go back to that in a second. It built successfully. So now if I go into here and I start the application, does it actually have my, did it show my beans? App config, oh, it's there. It has the controller. I guess we test. Do we know where this is, like what port? It looks like this is it, or is it the Mongo? It's Mongo trying to connect. I don't know why Mongo's connecting. I didn't set up a. I didn't set up anything for Mongo yet. Or so I didn't, at least I didn't think I did. Isn't there usually like a mappings thing? I do have hopscotch installed. I don't know if it'll work or not on this. And also I have no clue what port this is hosted on. That's what I was scrolling up for. It's usually 8080, but I want to make sure. Open telemetry. 8080, okay. Postman installed. Postman might be faster. Turns out, hopscotch happened a bit faster. All right. If I do localhost 8080 / v1 / get or / me, I believe. Turns a 401. That's probably because I set up the security and never actually did anything with it. Let's do security config. Let me again. Sign in, CAPTCHA, more and more stuff, fill in. Open Postman. Here's the thing though, is I don't actually want any of this. Sorry, I'm working on some side things that might be a little bit easier for me. Huh. Why am I... What? Postman, what are you doing to me? Is this supposed to be the new one I just did? It is. Let me do settings. Oh boy. Do I have an icon quickly available? Probably not. I'll come back to that later. Update, submit. I have to sign in again. Nonsense. We can close out of that. All right, Postman time. Workspace. This is fine. My private workspace is just... let's create a new one. Let's call this... I don't know. It's for API testing. Next. We will call this... I don't know. Create. What the hell are we doing here? We can remove all of this. I guess it's my fault for not creating a blank one. Let's just do this. There we go. Oh, whoops. Would it be helpful if I did localhost port 8080? Send. We obviously get a 401 because I have an authentication layer in place that I forgot about. I figured I didn't need to set it up just yet, but I guess I do. Spring Web Security Config. Here's the basic setup that they have for the beans. I don't care for this. I don't care for that. I do care for this. Here's our security chain. I think that's all I need. Hit save. Let's now restart this. Stop and rerun. I'll improve the security chain later, but that's all it's going to be for right now. Now if we go back to Postman, hit send. Got forbidden. Of course, of course, of course. All right, I guess we go back to the security config. It's supposed to be permit all. Oh, let's just comment this out for right now. Okay. Send. Why is it still forbidden? Doesn't permit all allows anything without, you know. Oh, I know the issue. Hold on. We'll do v1/all. Or for right now, let's just do this. Refresh. Stop and rerun. Maybe I've done this wrong. Is it 1 then 2? Hit start. Nope. It's not that either. Must start with a slash. Cool, cool, cool. All right, slash this, that, start. There we go. All right. I think I should have basically bypassed that. Internal server error. That's exactly what I was expecting. No adapter for handler. All right. I need to now figure out how to get the servlet request from a REST controller. Oh, is that it? I just have to do private HTTP servlet request. I think I see that this can be auto wired, so maybe it can't be auto wired. There's that. However, I have a strong suspicion. Maybe that's fine. Oopsie, didn't mean to do that. All right, let's restart. Let's see if this runs. I want to say that this is automatically available in the beans. All right, that's there. We send. No, nothing. All right, let me Google what this means. Huh. I go and Google more. Also looking at these, I forgot that I should have a response entity or response something. I think if I actually do this dot okay dot body and do that, that actually gives me what I want. What do you hate? You say that's knowable? Well, All right, going back to this. It's saying that this should already be available inside this, or not here, but supposedly I don't need this because it is in here. But I think I'm going to get the same exact error I already had. I did, because there's no adapter for handler. How do I create an adapter? Oh, is it literally all I have to do? Is do this at request mapping. Is that it? Save. Restart. Swear to God, if that's all it is. Bring this down. Send. Oh, it does work. I'll give it to him. Now how do we want to organize this? Because obviously I'm already deviating a little bit from the original thing, kind of. Let's, well, let me actually see what I'm doing over here. So OS has name and version. Let me go into our data. It seems like this could probably be simplified to just IP address as a string. I would like to do IP family, but we'll see. At value, builder, all R's constructor. We can call this a user agent, that's fine. But this, I would like there to be like the OS data. Let's see. Oh, device might work. Can I do like OS? Oh, I see. Can I actually stop this, run this in debug mode, and then see what there is when I get to like this point, I guess, because I want to see what these things have. Let's go and send. There we go. All right, there's that. We already know that the parser exists. Let's hit, or wait, is that client? None of these are client. There we go, there's client. We have family other. Oh, we're not getting much, are we? Well, this is a GET request, so let's do this actually in the browser. Do localhost, not 3000. I'm not doing web dev. Well, I am kind of. Okay. Cool. V1 get V1 me. There we go. This is a little bit different. This is what I was expecting, because I forgot that Postman's not going to have what I want per se. All right. What do we have for data? We know it's a Chromium browser. I know it's Brave specifically, but we won't actually know that. It doesn't know my device. It only knows Windows 10. Oh, there's a way of manipulating the headers to get more information. We can continue this one through and see if I can actually rerun that again, see if it gives me different data. It does not appear to. Yeah, it's not gonna give me anything different. All right. What did I do in my other API? My other API, I had some cores headers in place that would force the API, or force the browser. No, maybe not force. I wouldn't say force, but I would encourage the browser to give me a bit more. Tools, packages. Open up a new VS Code. API. What did I have for cores? Oh, I see how I did the family. All right, give me a second. Let me continue. Close out of this and this. I don't need any of that anymore. I figured out how I did the family. All it was this dot. Do I have it includes in here? I'm trying to remember what I can do with strings in Java. Can I do a contains? I can. Oh, oops. That's what I did in my other API. So that's how I can do that. Hit save. That actually worked. All right, I'm getting sidetracked. Let me go back. Server. My cores options don't seem to have much. Where is this used? Router? How was I getting this data? I know I was doing something. I was updating the headers. Ugh. I genuinely don't remember how I did this. It's been so long. Let me see if I can find anything that says talks about headers in my code base. Nope, nothing. How about the API? Nothing in the API. How was I doing that? I thought there was something you could do that would tell the browser to give it more data, basically. It's just a super simple header too. Let me look at UA parser. Because I'm pretty sure this tells you as well, like what to do. I guess we won't know. The type of data we were getting from this, I don't remember. I mean, we have device family and stuff like that, but I don't know if we'll actually get that data. Yeah, with client hints. That's what I'm looking for. Did I have that in the code? I guess I have high entropy or entropy values, which might be what's doing it for me. I don't know. Let's see if most of this user agent stuff I must have to do from the front end. Let's see now. Oh, there is something I can do. All right, let's see now. If I go into controller, we obviously have the request, but we'd also now like to have response headers being sent back. So we can do, this is what I was looking for, response headers. Oh, HTTP headers, sorry. Headers dot add or set. Except ch client hints. Copy all that, paste it all here. I know HTTP header, but I see it right here. Dot headers, there we go. All right, now if we do this, we do a little bit of that. Now, if we were to go into our impl and let's put a singular thing on that. Let's go into the browser, refresh. Oops. This is not giving anything new information, but if I proceed and then refresh again, it should theoretically give me more info, but it's not. And then let's refresh that again. Hit continue. I just want to get the network tab here and just see what kind of headers it's sending. Okay, requests, or it is supposedly it is sending them. So I wonder if this parser here agent string parse OS. No, I don't want that. I want that's your browser. That's the browser. This UA parser must have more to it, right? I might have to implement this myself. Apparently this is the one that people are using, but at this point I might as well just build it myself. Now that I know the headers and everything I can use. Yeah, why don't I just build my own? Because who needs, you know, that? Let's go into new package util. New class. Let's call this user agent util. This will be static. What do you mean? Static not allowed. What do you mean it's not allowed? Not constant. I am thinking of parse. I will also have this probably become another DTO. Let's call this one user agent or whatever. Sure. That builder. We don't need that. This will be also at value. Oh, that's what I was looking for. Access level private. That's what I've been looking for all of these. All right. Why do you hate? Why do you hate? Whatever. Get out of here. User agent, we want maybe we should call it class OS. Name version, there's more than that, right? Maybe not. Let's now do a new, sure, user agent mapper. Actually, no, this doesn't need a mapper because there's going to be quite a bit of work needed for it. Undo that. That goes away. This. We obviously have our utils. We'll do string, user agent, that, string. What are the client hints that are being sent? Let me double check this. Yeah, that's the one, and that one, and that one, and that one. And that one. We do a little bit of that. We now need to do user agent UA equals this. We obviously have that. We will then return UA. A little bit more specifically, we do want there to be an OS, which this will be user agent dot OS. OS equals that. Browser. Builder. What does the mobile one give me? I don't know what that means. Huh. It's interesting that they don't have that as a thing. Let's now that we have this built, let's see if it works. With this. Maybe I just send this instead. Let's see. Where did my util go? There it is. Bum. All right, let's see if this works. Refresh. We have UA, which is my object. This is looking pretty good. Browser name is not right, but let's see if I can fix that. Go into here, browser. This is going to be not user agent split, but what's the regex for getting the browser? I want to go and check the client parser. Oh, I didn't realize UA parser was made by Twitter. Interesting. I might leave parts of this in here. Let me copy this, go into my util. We will then have a private parser. We can come in here, we'll do creates a client. There's that. We have client now. Now we can do, if not null, then it does that. Otherwise, does client dot. This is for the OS. Dot family, I believe. I believe that's what I want. It'd be easier if I maybe did this. Pop. Pop. Client.os. Oh, do I have to actually parse this together? Major. Let's do, plus dot minor plus patch. What else is in there? There's patch, major, minor. Patch minor? I don't really care about the fourth position for that. For this, if user agent, I don't care about user agent actually at this point. I just care about this. So browser though would come from, yeah, browser would always come from this. So let's do client.browser, right? Ah. I think that's correct. Next would be is that true? Maybe. That is now being used. If I go back into my browser and look at that. I never actually continued. Whoopsie. Look at this. Go into headers. I don't know if that quite makes sense, but I'll go with it for right now. Oh wait, yes, this does make sense. That's for version at least, right? So, I also would like the same thing here, where we have it's not equal null. that will work. Device. This and that, and then client dot device. What the hell? No. Dot device family. There we go. And then I think for this I want to, is object dot, oh, how do I do the is empty? I can't remember what that was. I know what I'm thinking of. Oh, camera died. We'll just disable that. All right. We continue. Okay, that's good to know for that. Model, if I'm looking at here, model is an empty string, so it's not gonna actually do anything, but Java. Let me quickly find. That's what I think I'm looking for. Is the string utils? Cool. String util dot is. Oh, do they change this? Oh, I see. There's different versions. What is this deprecated for? Oh, that's what I'm looking for. Object utils. Oh, is empty does mostly what I want. I do want to make sure that I'm null checking. If it does not equal null, then we do this dot trim, otherwise null. We want this to be is not empty. There we go. Copy this, paste it down here. Let's actually have a private function for. We can do a primitive. Is string empty. What does has text do? Oh, maybe that's what I want. I could save myself so much time here by just doing this. It's always helpful when you know the various tools. No need for that. Has text. Let's see what else. What was I doing? Got sidetracked for a quick moment. So we have all this data. Fix that. I don't think that's how that worked for the model, but who knows? I'm feeling a little, quite a bit better now with this. All right. Okay, let's now save that, go into here. Let's actually, instead of doing that, let's just, well, I kind of want to have my client data extend this. Extends user agent. Why? Value builder. Is it because of this? I fix parts of it. Cannot inherit from final class. Well, it's not. Oh, I guess it is final, isn't it? There we go. You got getters and builder. Why you hate? Oh, call super. Yeah. I see what it's saying. Let's do my client data. Oh, client mapper, sure, whatever. My client data. Just map it from HTTP request, and this will be, will it know how to do this? That's the real question. Oh, I see. Will it know how to do this? That's the question. Oh, is that what I'm missing? Hmm. How do I don't want the star nonsense. All right, let's see. It says settings for what I want to do right here. Settings. It's called class count. It says 5 here. If you set it to 0, does that disable it? Or does that mean like always? Oh, it's not enough Googling. Not enough Google. Why does it seem like it works now? I'm confused. Why does it need a default constructor? That doesn't make sense. So I guess when we go to Copilot, let's see if we can figure it out. Because I'm tired of trying to Google. Alright, so that's what I did there. Why are we doing defaults? I guess I'll accept all. Let me make sure that my controller is actually sending everything fine. It looks like it is. Oh, swap failed. I guess we'll restart it. So we bring this down, we refresh. Uh-oh. What's going on here? We're trying to get what? The version? I think that's because for this one, it's supposed to be, you're in the first one, so we're doing Brave and that. It should be the equals? And then similar to this one, I think that should also be split in equals. Well, I don't know if this is necessary. Let's save that though, see if that fixed it. Let's see if my regex worked. Oh, sorry. My regex did not seem to work. Oh, why? Oh. Next. Out of bounds again. Let's do... if this, then we do, what the hell? Oh, the hell is that? No, that's not what I want. All right, let's see. What are we getting here? If I refresh my page up at the top, it looks like it's, I don't know what this is still doing, but that one says Brave, so that this one's correct. Okay. Oh. I think this might fix that issue. Okay, that looks correct. What's broken next? Nothing. Does this tell me what the data is and stuff? Of course. Instance map, the HTTP request nonsense, or let's do request. We already know that works. Skip that. Next. That seems to be working. That is pulling everything correctly. All right. It says Windows version 19, but that's not correct. I'm curious of why it's sending that. Well, not really sure, but here's what that looks like now. If I pretty print it and close this, we now can see this. And this is what I am able to now grab from the server, which is quite nice. It's not, you know, perfect per se. I might change this from OS to platform, because this is not necessarily the OS version. Like if I went into here, I'm looking at my PC information right now, and what I would expect it to say is my OS build version, but yeah, I'm not seeing that in here. I don't really know what 1900 is, but it's somewhere. It's not necessarily the data I was looking for, but you know, it is what it is, and it's a good starting point. I want to actually start getting into like a bit more deeper information here, like, or I want to be able to do, what am I thinking of? I can't code and think at the same time is part of my issue. So this is step one. I'll quickly show what this does exactly. So if I go into tools here /QR, this is the URL that's actually pulling the information. I want to block that. But this is the information I'm getting back and sharing. That's not my real IP address. I'm on a VPN, so I'm not that afraid of that. But it does collect a ton of information. Even when I don't specify my geolocation, I still have quite a bit of information in here. And basically what we did was we grabbed this data technically, and are sending that back. The rest of this is actually captured by the browser itself, and so I don't necessarily need to worry about that too much. Like the UI is going to be probably continuing to do this since it can grab that information a bit better than I can through the server. But yeah, this is the purpose of what I'm trying to get done. And hopefully this will make things a little bit easier, maybe. I have a lot more elaborate plans for this. Right now, it's pretty simple. There are other scenarios in here, but this is the first one. This is a pretty easy one for me to develop, and I wanted this to be added into this mix. And I now have a fairly simple Spring Boot application set up, which is nice. That's about all I wanted to go over today. Thanks for anyone who stopped by. And hope everyone has a good time, like a good weekend. Yeah. Well, I guess I'll go back to my my stream start screen because I don't actually have a stream end screen apparently. And yeah, see you guys around.